Have you ever stopped to consider the intricate network of life that surrounds us every day? This invisible web, teeming with biodiversity, is Earth's ecological system. It's a complex dance of interactions where creatures big and small, from the humblest of plants to the mightiest of mammals, coexist in a delicate balance with their environment. It's a never-ending symphony of life, every note essential to the harmony of the whole. In this video, we're going to delve deeper into the fascinating world of Earth's ecology. To understand Earth's ecological system, we first need to break it down into its essential parts. Think of it as a Russian nesting doll, with each layer representing a different level of the ecological system. We start with the smallest doll, or in this case, the individual organism. This is any living thing, from a blue whale to a blade of grass. Each organism has a role, or niche, to play in its environment. The next level up is the population. This is a group of the same species living in the same area. They interact with each other, compete for resources, and reproduce to ensure the continuation of their species. The community is the next layer. It's a collection of different populations that live together in a defined area. Here we start to see more complex interactions as different species compete, cooperate, and coexist. Next, we have the ecosystem. This includes all the living, biotic, and non-living, abiotic components in an area. It's not just the plants, animals, and microorganisms, but also the water, soil, and air. The ecosystem is where we truly start to see the intricate web of life. The biome is a larger, regional collection of similar ecosystems. Think of the rainforests, deserts, and tundras. Each biome has a distinct climate and specific types of plants and animals adapted to that climate. Finally, the outermost doll, or the biosphere, encompasses all the biomes, all ecosystems, and all life on Earth. It stretches from the deepest parts of the ocean to the highest mountain peaks, from the North Pole to the South Pole. These levels are interconnected, each influencing and being influenced by the others. A change in one can reverberate through all the others. This interconnectedness, this balance, is what makes our planet's ecological system so fascinating, so beautiful, and so complex. Keeping this hierarchy in mind, let's move on to how these levels interact. Interactions are the heart of the ecological system, driving the flow of energy and nutrients. These interactions take place in a myriad of ways, but we'll focus on two key processes: the flow of energy and the cycling of nutrients. Let's start with energy flow. Picture a simple food chain. Grass absorbs sunlight, a rabbit eats the grass, and a fox eats the rabbit. Energy in the form of calories is transferred from the sun, to the grass, to the rabbit, and finally to the fox. But nature is rarely as simple as a single food chain. More often we're dealing with complex food webs, where multiple species are interconnected through various feeding relationships. Each step in these webs is known as a trophic level. Why is this important? Because energy flow dictates the structure and function of the ecological system. It determines the number and size of organisms at each trophic level. Energy loss, as you move up the food web, also explains why there are fewer top predators than herbivores or plants. Now let's talk about nutrient cycling. Nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus are essential for life. They're used by organisms to build proteins, DNA, and other important molecules. Unlike energy, which flows in one direction, nutrients cycle within the ecological system. They're taken up by plants, consumed by animals, and then returned to the environment through death and decomposition. The cycling of nutrients is a delicate balancing act. Too little and organisms can't grow. Too much and ecosystems can be harmed. For example, excess nitrogen in water bodies can cause harmful algal blooms which deplete oxygen and harm aquatic life. These processes of energy flow and nutrient cycling are like the heartbeat and breath of the ecological system. They're complex, yes, but they are crucial for keeping the planet alive and thriving. They're the invisible threads weaving together every leaf, every bird, every squirrel, and yes, every human on this earth. These processes, while complex, are what keep our planet alive and thriving. The variety of life on Earth, or biodiversity, plays a critical role in the overall health of our planet's ecological system. Now, when we talk about biodiversity, we're referring to the wide array of life that exists on our planet. This covers everything from the tiniest microorganisms to the largest mammals and the countless varieties of plant life in between. Each of these species, no matter how seemingly insignificant, has a role to play in the grand tapestry of life. You see, biodiversity is like an intricate, interconnected web, where each strand supports and relies on the others. It's this interconnectedness that allows ecosystems to function and thrive. For instance, bees play a vital role in pollinating plants, which in turn provide food and shelter for other species. But the benefits of biodiversity extend beyond just the survival of various species. It also provides what are known as ecosystem services. These are the benefits that humans derive from ecosystems. This includes everything from pollination of crops and control of pests, to the purification of air and water, and even the regulation of climate. Moreover, biodiversity contributes to the stability of the ecological system. A diverse ecosystem is more resilient, capable of withstanding disturbances and adapting to changes. For example, in a diverse forest, if a particular species of tree is wiped out by a disease, there are other species that can take its place, ensuring the forest continues to thrive. But despite all these benefits, biodiversity is not a static concept. It's constantly changing, evolving, and adapting. And with these changes come challenges. Biodiversity is under threat from a variety of sources. Climate change, habitat destruction, pollution, overexploitation of resources, and invasive species are all contributing to a rapid loss of biodiversity. This is not only a loss for the species themselves, but also for the overall health and stability of our ecological system. But, despite its importance, biodiversity, and therefore our ecological system, is under threat. Our actions are causing unprecedented changes to the ecological system, with potentially disastrous consequences. One of the most pressing threats to our ecological system today is climate change. As we pump carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, we raise the planet's average temperature. This global warming is not just about hotter summers, it disrupts the delicate balance of ecosystems, altering animal migration patterns, causing coral reefs to bleach, and leading to extreme weather events. Next, we turn our attention to deforestation. We cut down billions of trees every year for agriculture, timber, and urban development. Yet, these forests are more than just a collection of trees. They are complex ecosystems home to countless species and play a crucial role in absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When we lose forests, we not only lose biodiversity, but we also exacerbate climate change. Lastly, we must address pollution. From the smog in our cities to the plastic in our oceans, pollution is a pervasive threat to our ecosystems. Air pollution can cause acid rain that harms plants and aquatic life. Plastic waste, often mistaken for food by wildlife, can choke, starve, and kill a vast array of animals. Furthermore, excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides can lead to water pollution, creating dead zones in our oceans where nothing can survive. These threats, climate change, deforestation, and pollution, are interconnected. They feed off each other, creating a vicious cycle that accelerates the decline of our ecosystems. As our ecosystems falter, so does the biodiversity they support, undermining the very fabric of life on Earth. However, it's not all doom and gloom. We have the knowledge and the tools to mitigate these threats and restore balance to our ecosystems. It's going to take a collective effort, but we've overcome significant challenges before. We can do it again. Fortunately, it's not too late to turn things around. By understanding and respecting the ecological system, we can make choices that help, rather than harm, our planet. There are countless ways we can contribute to the protection of our ecological system, and it all starts with being aware of our daily habits and making conscious decisions. One of the simplest and most effective steps we can take is reducing our waste. This means reusing and recycling whenever possible, and minimizing our consumption of single-use items. Another impactful action is to choose a more environmentally friendly diet. This can mean reducing our consumption of meat, which has a high environmental cost, and choosing locally sourced and organic foods to support sustainable farming practices. We can also make a big difference by conserving energy and water. Turning off lights and electronics when not in use, investing in energy-efficient appliances, or taking shorter showers are all small changes that can have a big impact over time. In addition, planting native trees and plants in our gardens or communities can help to support local biodiversity. These plants can provide food and shelter for local wildlife, and trees can help to absorb carbon dioxide, reducing the impact of climate change. And finally, we can use our voices to advocate for environmental policies and practices that protect our ecological system. This can be as simple as voting for leaders who prioritize environmental protection, or as involved as participating in local conservation efforts. Remember, every action counts when it comes to preserving our planet's intricate web of life.